Hello, my name is Tomasz Poszytek, and in this video I would like to show you how you can actually upgrade your Microsoft Teams Dataverse environment into a regular Dataverse environment. Now the first question you might ask yourself now is, why would I even need to upgrade my Dataverse for Teams environment to a regular one? Well, there are several circumstances or arguments that may convince you to do so. First of all, the limits. So you need to be aware that by default you have like 5 Microsoft Dataverse for Teams environments available in your tenant. Now every another one, Teams Dataverse for Teams environment, is coming up with 20 eligible Microsoft 365 licenses. So the more employees you have that are being given the Microsoft 365 license that allows them to access Microsoft Teams, the more environments you can create. Now the second thing is the capacity. By default, there is a 10 gigabytes of capacity per the whole tenant for Microsoft Teams environments, plus 2 gigabytes per each Microsoft Teams environment. Now, as more data the environment is being producing, as more applications the team is building, the more flows the Teams is building, and so on, the more capacity of that environment is being used. At the moment where you reach 80% of the capacity for a specific environment, then all the makers in Power Apps portal within Microsoft Teams is going to be displayed a message that the capacity is going to be soon over, and maybe it is a good idea to simply turn that environment into a regular one. And then once the environment capacity is over, so once the capacity limit is reached, once the data fills in 100% of the available capacity, so those 2 gigabytes, then it is not going to be possible anymore for the makers to create new solutions or to install solutions. Still, users are going to be able to edit existing solutions and use them. Another thing that you might consider when looking for arguments to upgrade to regular Dataverse is the permissions. So by default in Dataverse for Teams environments, you have no security roles at all. The only permissions you can actually use are those that are coming from Microsoft Teams membership. So owners are owners, members are contributors, guests are as well contributors for most of the cases. And the only permissions you can actually grant are predefined 5 types of permissions, but only exclusively for data. So you cannot limit actually who can access environment and to grant them access to specific tables and so on. So it's only on the data level that you can use one of the 5 predefined security roles. Now, if you would like to have more security, more granularity around the permissions, then the only way to achieve it is obviously to upgrade to a regular Teams environment. Also, what is important is that if you are going to fill or use all those 10 gigabytes that are available for the whole tenant for Microsoft Dataverse, for Microsoft Teams Dataverse environments, then again, new environments are not going to be created. So if anyone would like to create a new environment in Microsoft Teams, they will be prompted with a message that the space is over, the capacity is just reached. But as well, you will be able to use existing solutions and use existing environments. However, you won't be as well able to create anything new or install anything new. Now, about the upgrade itself, there is no built-in out-of-box UI method to request an upgrade. So once the capacity is over, or at any time anyone would like to upgrade their Teams environment to a regular one, the only supported way actually is to reach out directly to your tenant admin and request them to do so. You can create your own solution actually to request tenant admin for such an upgrade, although when you look at the Power Apps for Teams environment, the interface, the user interface, there is no such a button. So if I navigate to, for example, advanced environment, and I would like to, for example, navigate to like sales and marketing, here in this environment, there is like nothing, no button, no link, no anything actually that I can use to request this to be upgraded into a regular Power Apps or Power Platform environment. So even if I navigate to see all, where I have like everything that is built in this environment, then still there is nothing that I can use to request this upgrade. So the only way is to simply notify your teams as your tenant admin via email, via chat, just whichever method you want, or to build your own solution for such notifications, requests, and so on. Nevertheless, it has to be a tenant admin who simply navigates to the Power Platform Admin Center, and in there they can perform this upgrade. So now let me show you how this can be done. This is the Power Platform Admin Center for my tenant, and in here I can see the capacity usage for all environments I have in the tenant. So you can see how much of data is used per each environment, plus how much data has been used against the tenant capacity. And then once I navigate to environments, and then I open the specific environment someone maybe requested me to upgrade. Well, let's take the sales and marketing, for example. Then, I mean, basically for whichever environment tenant admin is navigating to, they will see this information at the top that if you like to do more with your team, then you can upgrade this environment to a regular Dataverse. So here you have this button saying upgrade. Now, once you click it, it is first checking the capacity in your organization. So first, it has to be aware that in your regular Dataverse, you have enough capacity to create a new environment within. If you don't have enough capacity in your tenant, then obviously you need to either remove an existing environment that maybe is not going to be, maybe that is not being used, or you need to simply reject this request to upgrade. Now, there is also information what your team is going to get once this Dataverse for Teams environment is upgraded to a regular one. And there are several benefits of having this Microsoft Teams environment upgraded. So first of all apps, flows, and bots are going to be available through a regular Power Apps Maker portal. So they won't be visible anymore under the Microsoft Teams Power Apps portal. Second of all, this environment is going to be like separated from Microsoft Teams for which it was created in the first place and then upgraded. And also the ALM of Microsoft Teams is going to be disconnected from this environment. So for example, whenever you'll grant a new user access to the team, it will not automatically be granted an access to that environment. Also, if you delete the environment, if you delete the team that this environment was created with in the first place, the environment itself is not going to be deleted. Well, secondly, for the solutions that were built in there, and this is, well, maybe not a benefit, but that's a kind of a disclaimer, you will need to grant all the users a specific valid licenses. So if you are using Power Apps, then users who will be using Power Apps will need to have a respectful licenses. So if the Power App is only using SharePoint and Office 365 connectors, then obviously the only required license is the one that is containing SharePoint within. So then users will be able to use the city licenses. However, if you are using any like Dataverse action, then the users who are going to use those applications or flows, they will be needing, they will need the related Power Apps per user or Power Automate per user plans, right? And as well the bots. So once you, let's say, release the bot from the Microsoft Teams environment, then as well you'll need to have this Microsoft Power Virtual Agents add-on so that all those sessions and user interactions with bots are going to be counted against the quota that is delivered by that add-on. So that is the disclaimer that once you turn your Dataverse for Teams environment into regular Dataverse, then for the future usage of the solutions that are being deployed in that environment, users will need licenses. Another thing is that once you upgrade the environment, you are given a lot of more the security. So first, you will be able to use all the security roles that are available in the regular Dataverse environments. So we'll have like system administrator, system customizer, user, and anything that is in there that is allowing you to put more security into the data that is being stored and to like give more governance around the access to the solutions and like who can create, who can use, and so on. Also, what is important around the security is that you will be given a possibility to use Microsoft 365 security groups as the access control to that environment. So only users from that group will be able to access and see the environment in the list of all environments. So that's another benefit. Also, what you have to be aware around the security is once the Teams environment is being upgraded to the regular one, owners are becoming system administrators. So anyone who was owner of the team in the first place is going to be system administrator of the newly created environment. And also what is very important is that once the environment is upgraded, its capacity, its usage, and everything that is going to be happening around that environment is going to be counted against the tenant, the regular Dataverse capacities, and so on. All right. Oh, and one more thing is that, once you upgrade the environment from Teams to a regular one, there is no way back. So if at any time you'll think, all right, maybe I'll just downgrade to Microsoft Teams again, sorry, it's not possible anymore. All right. So now once you hit next, you will see, again, some information, what is going to be needed from the users who are going to use solutions present in that upgraded environment. And then once you consent all this information, you're able to upgrade. So as well, what you can read in here is that this upgrade can take a few hours even. So depending on how much data you have, how much solutions, the more time possibly it will need. Now, what is also important is that during the time this solution is being upgraded, users are not going to be able to use any of the solutions. They won't be able to create new solutions. They won't be able to edit existing solutions. So if you want to do this upgrade, it's really a good idea to plan some kind of notifications or messaging around this upgrade, so that the users who are potentially going to use anything that is built around that environment are not going to be surprised that it's not working. So because it is taking like several hours to upgrade, then I will not be waiting until it is done. I will now pause the video and we'll get back to you once this is done. And so the environment was upgraded after 2.5 hours. So right now, as you can see, it's saying that it was upgraded 5 minutes past 1 p.m. my time. And right now it is a type of production. So it's no longer a Microsoft Teams type. So first of all, what has changed? The whole interface of this group has changed. Maybe I'll just open you a different interface in the same tab. So for example, let's see the marketing, which is like the regular Microsoft Teams environment, versus this marketing and sales and marketing, which was upgraded. Oh, plus, speaking about the environments and about their types, now, as you can see, the sales and marketing is a type of production. So it's no longer Microsoft Teams. Now, let me just open it. And this is the, let's say, details screen of a regular Microsoft Teams environment. So you can see that the security group by default is the one that is behind the related Microsoft Teams team. There is this Teams association, but you can't like navigate to see users. You cannot open security roles. You cannot go into more resources and flows and power-ups, and so on. Now, meanwhile, when you navigate to this upgraded sales and marketing, you are first of all able to edit the details. And one of the details that you can change is that security group. By default, that security group is the same, the one that was used for the original environment. Then you're able to access other security roles, teams, users, and so on. It is still associated with his sales and marketing team, although as said, it is disconnected. So anything that happens to the team, like new users or removal of a team, is not going to affect this environment anymore. About the resources, again, there is much more. So apart from flows and power-ups, now you have as well portals and Dynamics 365 applications. And now, once I go back to Microsoft Team, and at the same time, I'll open you the make.powerapps.com, make.powerapps.com, so that in a separate tab, I will be able to show you what is like within the environment. All right. Let's move it here as a second tab. And I should be able to already see that environment in a drop-down, although because it has just recently been switched from the Microsoft Teams environment into Power Apps environment, it still might not be visible here. Right, and so this is the case. I don't like it. So what you can do is to either navigate to flow.microsoft.com, because the environment switcher in Flow portal is seeing all the environments, so both the productive, trial, and so on, and Microsoft Teams. So there you will be able to simply to use that to use that new productive environment from that switcher, or we can do something else. So I can simply copy the GUID of that environment this way, and then paste it in here, and then simply open this environment directly that way. So this should be visible. Yep, right. So it's here. And now what I can see here are all those applications that have been built on that environment or in that environment. I can create model-view applications. I can create a portal from blank. So like now this environment really looks like a regular environment that is, well, because it is just a regular environment, right? So there is nothing different about it. And then once I navigate here to that environment within Microsoft Teams, so then I go to Power Apps. And then to build then, as you can see, this sales and marketing environment is now marked with this diamond, and it is simply saying that these resources now are using premium features like premium connectors or premium components or premium actions, whatever. And the goal is that you're just unable to manage this environment and solutions built in that environment no more from the Power Apps within Microsoft Teams. So starting from the day or the moment that the environment has been upgraded, you need to use it and manage it through the Power Apps Maker portal or through Flow Maker portal. It's up to you. The goal is that you're just unable to do it directly from Microsoft Teams. And it's also very important because, as I said before, that requires you to grant those required licenses to the users who are going to either use or author solutions on that in that environment from now on. All right. And well, with that having said, let's make just a small and short wrap up. So the goal is that once you're meeting some quota limits, or when you're in a situation when you need more security in your environment, in your team's environment, or when you'd like to have a direct API access to the data in your environment, like there are multiple different reasons why you would like to actually switch from the Microsoft Teams environment into a regular Dataverse environment. I've mentioned some of them in the beginning. But anyhow, at the moment that you realize, or your employees realize, that you'd like to simply have something more out of this environment, or that you need something more, then there is a very easy and straightforward upgrade path from the Microsoft Teams environment into a productive environment. Just check that you have enough capacity in your regular Dataverse, and then you simply hit the button to upgrade. You go through 2 screens of confirmation and expressing your consent, and then the upgrade can be performed. Note that the upgrade can take several hours. In my case, it took just like an hour and a half or 2 hours and a half, sorry. But that was only because the environment was not really used a lot, I think. I suspect that for larger environments with more data, with more solutions, this upgrade would require more time. So just be aware of that. And before you do the upgrade, just make a good communication around it so that every user using that team or using that application, those solutions, is aware that there might be interruptions in that application, right? And so maybe just do that upgrade over the night. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, then please put your thumbs up. And of course, subscribe and maybe turn on notifications if you'd like to be informed about new videos about such important features as this one. Thank you very much for watching, and well, until the next time. Bye-bye.